5 years after saving the world from the evils of Gozer, New York's favorite paranormal investigators find themselves going up against the spirit of a sadistic Carpathian warlord and his endless river of emotionally charged slime. The apocalypse is nigh once again, and only Peter Venkman, Ray Stantz, Egon Spengler, and Winston Zeddemore can stop it in the 1989 sequel, Ghostbusters II. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre,
I'm Caleb Lachey.
and this is Filmgazm. Welcome to the Filmgazm podcast. New York is haunted for the fourth time, with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire hitting theaters this Friday. We covered Ghostbusters a long time ago on the original podcast run, so we wanted to show a little love to one of the most underrated sequels ever made, Ghostbusters 2, in my opinion. So, what is your history with this film?
Uh, I haven't seen it nearly as much as like Ghostbusters. Like I remember watching Ghostbusters quite a bit, and actually through the cartoon. Like I got into the cartoon first. I forget which one. I got into one of the. I know there was like two different ones.
The real
Uh,
Ghostbusters. That's the
I think it's the real one. Yeah, that I got into. And because I ended up seeing the movies kind of like later in life. Um, I've when I did watch this, I remember really liking it, and it took me years to like I would realize like apparently fans fucking hate Ghostbusters 2, which is crazy to me because I'm like, guys, I've seen bad sequels. I watch a lot of horror movies. Um, no, it's not as good as the first one, but it's still like a fine enough sequel. I still have a lot of fun with it. Yes, the first one's just magic in a bottle that happened, but with this one, like it's one I've enjoyed. I generally, if I watch Ghostbusters and I got time, I'll put it in two and watch it just because I enjoy watching it so much. But yeah, it was one like I got kind of into the cartoon with Ghostbusters first as a kid watching the original the real Ghostbusters, and then found the movies after that later in life.
interesting. Yeah, I've never actually seen the cartoon. I've been pretty much exclusive to the films. I remember when I was a kid. You remember? Did you guys ever tape movies off of TV and have like three or four movies on a blank tape?
Yeah, that's how I had signs. That's how we had signs in our movie collection. 'Cause my dad taped it off fucking HBO.
Nice. Yeah, my mom did that. We didn't have the movie channel, so she did it on like TNT or something. So we had commercials, which
Yeah.
sucked.
Oh, dude, my dad got excited when we got HBO briefly. He was like taping every fucking thing you could think of on there.
I had a tape of it was Ghostbusters 2, Godzilla 1998, and Madeline. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was those three movies. And I simply could not watch Ghostbusters 2. The tape was so fractured. I would get like the opening scene of Ghostbusters 2 and then it would just fizzle out and it was not even worth the effort to just push through. Then when DVD came out, I found Ghostbusters 2 on DVD at Walmart and begged my mom to let me get it. And over time, that DVD got kind of scratched and I couldn't really watch it that well there either. Uh, then I have it on Blu-ray now, a Steelbook Blu-ray I got. And ironically, the Steelbook's a little scratched.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
the case, not the movie. But I find that funny. But now I have it. I can watch it whenever I want. And I think it's pretty good. I have never understood the fan outcry against Ghostbusters 2. I don't think it's as good as Ghostbusters, but I think it's a worthy successor. I think it's a fun movie. It's a good follow-up. I don't get the problem. And that actually leads right into my discussion question. So, why do you think this movie's considered the worst Ghostbusters film, at least until the reboot came out?
I'm glad you prefaced with that. You know what I think it is in watching it's a worthy enough follow-up, but the magic isn't there as much as it is in the first one. You do have a lot of scenes where the characters are a lot more separated. Um, totally, Rick Moranis' character and Annie Potts forced into this film. Like, you don't get as many scenes with them. They feel almost kind of like they couldn't figure out what to do with their characters. this time. So they were like, yeah, just do this weird plotline that never gets ever revisited. Nor will it, because Rick Moranis is retired, and the film that was supposed to bring him back to us ever fucking got filmed. So,
Oh
um,
yeah, that Honey I Shrunk the Kids when that kind of just disappeared, didn't it?
yeah, apparently the last update was from Josh Gad, and that was the script's still not done. Um, so who knows when the fuck it's coming out. Um, so I can see things like that where even I was like, I can kind of see that, right? Where like, yes, there's some story elements that don't add up as much. I do think yes, the idea of the sludge being like all the hate in New York, it's kind of hokey, it's kind of corny a little bit, but there's still just as much in that film that's really good. You know what I mean? Like you still got the cast bringing their A game. You still got lots of funny moments. You got plenty of scary moments. It hits again, just like with the first one, it hits that right tone. So there's still a lot of good about the film that I enjoy. That
Me
I
too.
think gets overlooked by things people don't enjoy.
Me too. I think that it upset some fans that this one was targeted a little bit more towards fans of the cartoon, so it was a little bit more kiddie. But even then, you still got swearing and some legit scary moments. So like an 80s PG is not a 90s PG. Uh, but again, I like that all the characters came back. You can tell that some of them are kind of over this. You can tell that. But honestly, the saving grace for me is the bad guy, is Vigo. I love Vigo the Carpathian. That the idea of like an Eastern European warlord who was also a wizard who swore he would return to take over the world through a painting. I don't know what it is about that, but I have fucking loved that since I was a kid. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, I keep looking away because we're getting noise in my apartment right now.
It's Ghost.
Oh, maybe.
It's Vigo.
But yeah, no, like I said, there's definitely some elements that don't hold up as well with the first one. And I still think this film, for some reason, is a sequel and they still kind of doing Ernie Hudson dirty. Like they haven't done his character good until really it seems like these new set of films seem to finally give him the respect he deserves. Um,
He's always been my favorite Ghostbuster because he's not a scientist. He's literally just in this for the check.
he needed a job. That was it.
I love he's in this for the check and he's saving the world with like nuclear accelerators taking on demigods.
Yeah,
He
and he's
just
all in.
wanted
I
he
love it.
just needed to pay the rent.
Yeah, and he's like all in. It's great.
Yeah. It's hilarious. And they're all like they don't like look down on him or they're like, you're not gonna get it. They include him in all the scientific conversations.
Yeah,
He's equal Ghostbuster to the rest of them. He's not the
yeah, it's
intern or something. Like they like him. He's a friend. He's a colleague.
yeah, they respect him quite a bit. It's nice. It's fun. Um, but like I said, I think Vigo the Carpathian is a good villain. I do again. I can, I think again a victim of them trying to kind of like make this more for the kids that like the cartoon. I think the cipher, if you will, that Vigo takes over is not the best fucking human villain compared to the first movie, like the art dealer dude.
Oh, Janosch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind
Um,
of annoying.
he he's more annoying than anything. So yeah, I definitely get where like yes, fans are coming from, but I'm like again, and this could be me just being older, me having seen more films, more really bad films. Um, if you're bitching about this, like this is not the worst thing ever. Like this is not the worst sequel I've sat through. Like I've seen films with far worse sequels. I've sat through the whole Wrong Turn franchise and Leprechaun franchise, so let's calm the fuck down. Um, but hey, I mean, look, it's never ending, right? I mean, we were talking about before we recorded. Look at all the stupid online hate for this Crow movie that like also is sacred, and we can't make a new movie. Fans will find a thing to bitch about all the fucking time.
Yeah, they will. And admittedly, there is quite a bit of nostalgia bias for me when it comes to Ghostbusters 2. I liked it a lot as a kid. And the films you like as a kid are hard to, it's hard to see any fault in them, no matter how terrible they may be. Like some of my all-time favorite movies are not all that well received. Mars Attacks, for instance, was considered the lesser Independence Day in '96. It's become a bit of a cult favorite since then, but at the time, people were like, "This is ridiculous." So
I must say, as a kid, I used to love that movie. I love that movie as a kid. That was
I
great.
it's one of I think it's Tim Burton's masterpiece, but that is for a podcast we've never actually done. So let me put that in the old mental notebook right there. Um, but yeah, I think this is fun. I go to movies to be entertained, and Ghostbusters 2 keeps me entertained. You know, it may not have the same like iconic level that the first one had, but back in '89, it didn't yet. It took a while for Ghostbusters, you know, people liked it. It was a hit, but it wasn't iconic yet. You know, Ghostbusters 2 was just another Ghostbusters. I think people are forgetting that. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, no, yeah. People forget that like it took time for like the first one to even be as iconic as it is nowadays. Like it took years for it to hit that status.
well, and at the time, Ghostbusters was the latest, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis comedy. It was not this like huge profitable IP that it's become now with giant budgets and, blockbuster status. That's not what Ghostbusters was back in the day. It's like if
No.
Caddyshack all of a sudden turned into Star Wars. It's weird.
Yeah, and it almost fucked it up in 2016 when that one came out and people were like, "We don't want this."
No.
So it almost didn't even get that blockbuster status. It got it recently. As we forget, like it got it kind of recently with the newest one that came out. But Afterlife, like that's when we really got like a blockbuster. Like they're back. Like we are giving you Ghostbusters
Yeah.
type of status.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll defend Ghostbusters 2 forever. It's a decent movie. It's a fun watch. And it is not the worst Ghostbusters movie, not by a long shot.
No, and also let me know we do not dislike Ghostbusters 2016 because it's an all-female cast. It's just not a good goddamn movie.
It's a terrible movie. From a director who said, "Yeah, I didn't really like Ghostbusters." Well, then why are you making fucking Ghostbusters?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
get you gotta work for hire sometimes. You got bills to pay. I get it. But you tell me there wasn't other projects lined up after the success of Bridesmaids and The Heat? Are you kidding me? You had other projects lined up.
yeah. So yeah, we don't really have a spot to talk about 2016's Ghostbusters because we don't want to. So that's all we got to say about that.
Yeah.
Um, well, that's my question. What do you got?
Wow. Just one question. What rookie numbers we are playing with?
I know I only am hosting all of these podcasts, but whatever.
It's fine. I just need to be better. This one's I thought would be a fun question to ask because this film deals with the paranormal.
Oh, okay.
Ghostbusters is busting ghosts. It's in the title. If you didn't get that, well, I I don't know what to tell you.
What is there somebody out there who's like, I get that there's ghosts, but like what are they doing to them?
I really hope there is one person's like, I don't get this title. As they're playing like the theme song, and there's something strange. You gonna call
Oh my God.
Ghostbusters. They're like, I don't get it. Um, but with that, this is a subject we've talked about numerously in our personal lives as friends before. Watched plenty of videos, things like that. So let's put it on the record on this little recording thing right now. What are your thoughts on the paranormal, on the spooky?
No comment.
No, you have to comment. Fuck you.
Right now. My lawyer has advised me not to answer that question.
Fucking kill
Uh,
you.
I have mixed feelings. I've seen some weird shit in my life. I've seen some hard to explain incidents involving shadowy people, ghosts, if you will. I want it to be real. I think it would be life changing. It'd be, affirming in a way, but I don't know. Maybe it was just sleep deprivation that made me see that shit. I don't know. Until we've actually seen it. I'm a seeing is believing kind of guy. Like I need to touch it to know it's real. I can't take people's word for it. That's why I'm not really, accepting all of this, alien UFO shit coming out of the government. It's like, well, show me a body. I'm not gonna take your word for it. You've been lying to us for hundreds of years. Why am I suddenly gonna believe you? But yeah, I'm interested in the paranormal. I need more proof to really get on board. Apart from those weirdo moments where you see something out of the corner of your eye and you're like, was that a ghost or am I just crazy? Because then in those moments you're a hardcore believer and nothing's gonna shake you of that. But
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. fair enough. I guess I'll take that as an answer. Um,
What's wrong with that answer?
what if I was just like jotting everything down? Like, this is really actually me incriminating you in some way, and it's just me going, yep, keep talking, keep talking.
Ah, I don't know. Ghosts are fascinating, but I do like I don't trust people who claim to be like, paranormal experts. Like, what are you talking? Like, we have no evidence to back up any of this. How can you be an expert in something? Yeah.
They're an expert, God damn it. I don't know what school they went to. They're an expert. No, I
Anyone
yeah,
who
I
claims to be an expert in something you can't prove is full of shit. I don't care how well-meaning they are.
I want to know how they're getting paid, how well, and how do I become an expert? Because I'll pour myself out that way for money. That's fine.
I wonder if they have to like whatever. I'm sure they have to renew a license or something, and every year do they have to like make their case about why they deserve to keep having this job?
So this one night,
Like, do they have a slideshow prepped? Like, do they have slides? Do they have a cup of snot where they're like ectoplasm? Like, do they have all that prepped?
they had a full on PowerPoint presentation of like, this is why I'm an expert and I need to renew my license.
I don't like anybody who claims to have the answers to questions no one on earth is prepared to ask. You don't have the answers. You're lying to people. You're selling something.
Yeah, yeah, I can. Yeah, yeah. It's I look. I do tend to lean in the direction of believing in that stuff. I've had like yeah, I've told you about it before. I've had some weird shit happen in my childhood home growing up. That's just really hard to shake and find explanations for. Um, that I know I've showed it to you before. Um, a dream that I wonder if it was a dream because it's the only one I vividly remember. Too, I'm 31 and still vividly remember listening from when I was in high school. Um, and it still creeps me out when I think about it. It still just creeps me the fuck out. But we had shit happen in our my childhood home growing up when we were doing like renovations and shit. So that's why I tend to lean towards belief. With that, me, I'm a sucker for like they tell their paranormal story, and watching my YouTube vids of creepy videos.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe every goddamn video I see on that. Like sometimes I'm sitting going, I think there's an explanation for that one. Sometimes I've seen some good shit that makes me go, "Oh yeah, that's creepy." I sent you one recently. Um that the one I call it James. Um that creeped me the fuck out because I was like, dude, what is the explanation that like is if it's true and his wife's legitimately gone, fuck that shit.
See, that's what gets me though. How can we know it's true? It could be literally just his wife calling him from downstairs. We're taking this guy's word for the fact that his wife wasn't home. There's nothing that we can get that can prove that.
Yeah, but I tend to believe that one just because of his fears. Unless he's a really good actor, that guy seemed like genuinely fucking shaken. Like, because I know if that was me, I would be. I'd be out the window though. I'd be like, I'm not staying in this house. Fuck that. Um, and he did point out their Ouija board, which I just that's where like so there is like a part of me that like believes because I won't do things like fuck with Ouija board. I'm not. No, no.
See, that seems very staged to me, where I'm like, oh, he just happens to have a Ouija board on his bookshelf right now. Like, really?
God, you are being such a butthole right now.
Yeah. You know why? Because when it comes to this shit, I want it to be real, but I'm not going to just accept somebody's word. Like, prove it. Prove it to me. That's all I want. I'll believe all of it as long as you can back up what you're talking about.
I was just like, you're like, that's bullshit. And he goes down, there's a fucking demon down there.
I mean, everything else, everything else in science needs proof to be considered real. And we got that. This is no different.
Well, this is paranormal. It's outside the realm of science.
Nothing's outside the realm of science.
Jesus,
Science
I
is
don't know.
literally everything that
God,
exists.
I don't know. I don't
Science
know.
is everything that exists and can be quantified. Anything that can't is either not real or something we do not yet understand.
Exactly. Yeah, see? Paranormal, something we do not yet understand.
Yeah.
So there could have been some fucking demon down there mimicking his wife's name, which our voice, which would have been terrifying beyond belief.
Maybe it was a Matt Damon filming the new Bourne movie.
Maybe. All I know is that if that was me, I wouldn't go downstairs. I would be like him. I'm not going down there. Fuck that. Um, the one where they explode the building and that person or whatever screamed in the background. Yeah, I would have been flying out that fucking building. Fuck that.
Second, I saw somebody down there, which again, that probably wasn't a ghost. That probably was a mentally ill homeless person.
That was probably someone.
I would not walk further into the void to see what that was.
Yeah. Hey, let's find out.
No. Uh, See, I think those videos are cool, for minor creeps, for moments of like, ooh, that was creepy, but not as evidence of the paranormal.
Um, just wow. But I don't know. Sometimes like I watch those and I'll go like, okay. I can believe that. I'll take that for $1. I can believe that. Some of them I am like, I don't know if I believe that one. So it's like I said, I don't know. I'm like I definitely do believe that there's more than what science can prove, more than what we know. Um, I just it's how I believe, and it's why I don't do things like Josh is always like, oh, it's just a board game up. I'm like, dude, you bring your YouTube on this house, I'm going to fucking throw it. Like, I'm not fucking with that. I don't care if Hasbro sells it for 10.99. I don't give a shit. I'm not fucking with it.
See, I also like I need evidence to support the existence of something paranormal, whether it be aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, Nessie, any of that shit. I also will not fuck with Ouija boards. I won't go into haunted asylums. I won't do any of that. I won't risk it on the off chance that if I'm right, I'm not attaching some shit to my life.
Like, yeah, you're not fucking your life over and down the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what if like that video was where the dude's like, well, what if they had the same mindset, right? Oh, it's not real. We'll just fuck the Ouija board, and now he has some weird demon in his house that can mimic his wife's voice, if that's real. You know what I mean? Like, hey, well,
Yeah. The reward to risk ratio is not worth it with this. So
no.
no thanks.
But yeah, yeah. No, it makes for a good creepy time. But yeah, it's funny because like I watch so much horror that like I have to be careful with those videos because like if I watch them too many of them, then I'm like, fuck. That whole like classic like having a hard time going to sleep happens because I'm like, oh now I'm just fucking paranoid. Like I gotta put like a stay-at-home special or some shit on.
I don't remember the last time that happened to me when I got like so legit freaked out I had to like decompress and put on something innocuous to get lost in and forget I'm so scared. I don't remember the last time
Well,
that happened.
that's why I don't watch too many like Mr. Nightmares or like things like that back to back to back. Like I'll watch the one new video and then go, okay, that's enough. Oh, so then we'll get to that point of like Jesus Christ, especially when he does ones where like the videos he provides the videos to it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. When I sent you with the dude was under the guy's house, fuck that,
See, that was terrifying because that was a home invasion. That's real scares. That's real fear.
dude. That when the camera showed the guy, he was like, oh fuck,
Like, "Eh." Ugh. Like you remember that video about that person who like thought there was a ghost in their house, so they put up a video and it turns out there was a lady living in his walls.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'd much rather have a ghost.
yeah. That point, I'd be like, please give me the ghost. Fuck that.
Put Azazel the Unholy right smack dab in my bedroom over that shit. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't need some lady crawling out of my fucking closet every night, eating my food.
It's my food.
I pay for it. Get out of my house.
Imagine like seeing that and handling it like, hey, get out of here. Like not even that like was freaked out. It's like, what are you doing in here? Go.
That's why, dude, I swear, I'm gonna get like a baseball bat or something. So in case something like that happens, my initial reaction will be to pummel you with that bat. So then I can be just like, well, you're incapacitated. Now I just need to call the cops.
This is Texas, so it can be assumed whoever's breaking into my home has a gun. So I'm gonna have to get a bigger gun.
You just come in with like a bazooka.
That's Texas law. Nothing trumps bazooka. That's the top of the gun chart. Unless I somehow have like a fucking Panzer in the backyard, bazooka wins.
You want to rob my house? Here, I present you tank.
Tank beats 22 every time.
You're going to lose like half your house, but the point will be proven.
Yeah, and if there's one thing we've learned about life, it's more about proving points than it is, you know, take avoiding collateral damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah. Well, yeah, I figured whenever we talk about, ghosts, whether it's, The Conjuring or fucking Ghostbusters, that question's gonna come up.
Yeah, I figured we haven't asked it yet. I never done much paranormal movies. I was like, yeah, but this might be a fun one to ask. And I would say if we had enough fans, you know what? Fuck it, submit your terrifying, fun-filled ghost stories if you have any. But I don't think we have that many fans to
Not
do
loving,
that.
not loving your pessimism there, my friend.
You're all welcome. I can share one of my ghost stories. I have way too many in that fucking house I grew up in, man. Fuck that thing.
I have a handful. One of them led to a really creepy short story I wrote. It was a that was a frightening night.
I
But
think you told
I
me
think
about that one. Yeah,
we should share it. We should save that for when we do like a scary ghost movie.
not. I mean,
This doesn't seem like the right time. Ghostbusters does
you're
not seem
telling
like.
me it's not the right time in a film with the sequel to a film with a ghost blowjob.
Well, admittedly, there's no ghost blowjob in this movie, so
I know. I feel like it's really missing something about the ghost blowjob.
you think it's the ghost job that is holding people back from truly accepting this movie?
Yes.
Wow. You said you had two, right?
Yeah, I did because I come prepared for these.
Oh, sorry. Let me just put away my script, my recording equipment, my website, my podcast feed. Let me just put that down for a second so I can really hear you.
Yeah, if you could just come more prepared, that'd be great.
Sorry, I've been having this severe back pain from carrying this for 5 years. But
I don't know what back pain you're talking about. I've been doing most of the work.
let me just fix that and go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah. Okay. Well, while mine's festering from the amount of work I do constantly for this team, next one's a bit more simpler, less less into it. But if this were a real job, would you like to be a Ghostbuster?
100% would I be a Ghostbuster? Yes. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
would probably die in a horrible nuclear accelerator accident, as would most people who would do this job. But yes, I would do this.
Yeah, I had the same thought. I'd be like, dude, I could do this job if it paid well.
Huh.
I'll go bust some ghosts.
To literally get to like destroy buildings with zero, I don't ever see them pay damages ever. So
They it's really fun. They always in each movie, it's always like they're getting sued. It looks like the new one's even doing that. Like the city doesn't want them. They're going to try to get money out of them, but then god damn it, they need the Ghostbusters.
yeah, I think it'd be funny if in the new one they just decide, no, we're not getting sued anymore. It's not our fight.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
Maybe you think the mayor was like, if we just got rid of the Ghostbusters, then maybe the ghosts would stop having a need to come here.
Well, considering Peck seems to be the dude in charge in the new one, I bet that's exactly what he thinks. Um, but yeah, I think it'd be funny to like if Ghostbusters was real, because A, that also means ghosts are real. And B, that also makes that one of the most dangerous jobs in the world because they are literally shooting nuclear fire at like everything. There's
Yeah,
no
I'd take
way
that
there wouldn't
chance.
be people dying on that job every single day. There wouldn't
I'd
be
take that.
a ton of casualties of innocent people getting in the line of fire. Like
It's fine. It's fine. It's all part of the job.
apparently, I do love that in these movies, it's not like a common occurrence. It's like there's a surge of ghost activity every few years, and then the Ghostbusters are busy, and then there's no ghosts for like a decade.
Yeah.
It's not a very
You know,
sustainable business model.
when you mentioned like a lot of collateral damage and everything, like what would be the boys' version of Ghostbusters? And it's just watching ghosts rip people apart, and the Ghostbusters not really helping because they're just accidentally slaughtering people in the process of capturing the ghost.
I'm picturing like a couple talking on the side of the road, having a heartfelt moment, and all of a sudden a proton stream just blasts through one of them, and you just hear somebody go, "Woo! Busted makes me feel good," and just drive past in an Ecto One convertible, maybe this time. There wasn't even a ghost.
Just they're really fucking high on something.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for that new season.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. But yes, I think everybody who likes Ghostbusters would like this is one of the it's one of the fictional jobs that is, you know, lusted after. People would I'd love to be a Ghostbuster. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, but like Bill Murray, I would not like putting that suit on. Be like, oh, God, this suit is. Oh, the proton pack or something. Suit. I do feel like eventually you're going to start having back problems.
Yeah. I mean, and also, I mean, that's gotta fuck up your sperm count, right?
Maybe if you're getting directly radiated, yes. If not, no.
I just think of the bit in the first movie where they first like switch them on and they switch on Ray and like Egon and Peter just try to like back into the corner of the elevator. Like they know something's up. They know these things are dangerous.
Yes, they know they just don't care.
I think it's funny that like ancient gods like Gozer can be defeated by a few scientists like makeshift ghost hunting equipment.
Yeah, by the power of positivity.
Apparently, yeah. Cross the streams as much as you want.
Yeah, I love how the movies keep doing that. Don't cross the streams, but we need to really bad for this one.
I love how with Vigo it was just like I don't think the proton streams did anything, but that supercharged goo, that's what did the job.
Yeah, the goo of positivity, it did it.
All right. Yeah, this is
In
a
a
weird.
place like New York, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's a weird movie. It's a good movie, but it's a weird movie. Um, well, let's talk about how this film came about because Ghostbusters 2 had a rocky road uh to release. Production was a bitch. My main source for today's episode is the featurette Time is But a Window, Ghostbusters 2 and Beyond on the Best Buy Steelbook Blu-ray of Ghostbusters 2. It might be on the regular Blu-ray too. I don't know. I don't have that one. I have the Steelbook.
Okay,
Oh,
keep talking. We'll see if it's on mine.
oh. I also use
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
good.
it is.
So it is on the trade Blu-ray. Go yeah,
Mhm.
check that out. I also used Wikipedia and IMDb trivia to fill in any blanks. So in 1984, Ghostbusters was kind of an unprecedented, enormous hit. Columbia Pictures wanted a sequel immediately. They were like, "We want more Ghostbusters." You know, Busted makes America feel good. And then in 1986, David Putnam became chairman of Columbia Pictures, and he wanted to move away from expensive sequels, focus on smaller, independent, standalone projects. And this was a time when a studio chairman was going out of his way to avoid making big budget blockbusters.
That one could say, I wish was the thought process now,
Yeah,
but
makes sense now. Back then, kind of stupid.
yeah, back then I'd be like, hey, you should bet on the sequel to support the indie smaller stuff you want to do.
Yeah. But Putnam, it wasn't just it wasn't that so he didn't just not want to make sequels. He also really hated Bill Murray. So there was a lot of personal shit here too.
What what Bill Murray do to piss him off?
Oh, I'm gonna get to that.
Oh boy.
It was super. It was not. It wasn't even anything. It was just like I don't like the guy's vibe. But
Oh, I was about to say like, because I mean, don't get me wrong, like Bill Murray, great comedian. He has been known to be a character in real life.
he's a dick. I'll say it. He's a
Yeah,
dick.
yeah. So I'm like, what did he do?
Yeah, quirky behavior does not. You don't get a pass because you're kind of eccentric. Um,
Yeah, yeah. The stories I've heard, I'm like, man, he's funny, but I don't think I would not want to hang out with him in real life.
no, he's burned a lot of bridges over his career.
Yeah.
Uh, so other executives, everyone was at Columbia was like, why are we not making Ghostbusters 2? Like, why we were going to make Ghostbusters 2. We stopped trying. What's happening right now? So the other executives
We
tried,
need Ghostbusters, God damn it.
yeah, we're not feeling good and we need a bust.
Who
Um,
are you going to call?
I would love if that is how they tried to get this movie off the ground. Like, who are we going to call? We got no one to call. Like, they took it real seriously.
Yeah. We literally asked the question. We need to answer it.
Uh, so other executives tried to circumvent Putnam to start developing the sequel. He found out and kept shooting everything down. He was like, no,
Jeez.
we're not doing it.
Right. what is this fucking Nazi Germany? Like, who will work under him and you won't know. And he just sniffed his fucking Bill Murray sense tingled, and he went, "Not in this house, bitch. Fuck you."
This that's so aggressive. That made me laugh. Um, Ivan Reitman. Hmm?
Like, what is the fuck is go? It's just like, what is going on? Like, they are so desperate. Just okay, if we don't say anything and we just work under him, we can get the movie made.
Did somebody
Oh,
say
hey, Bill,
movie?
how's it going? Hey,
I smell Ghostbusters 2 talk over here. You better be talking about low budget indie dramas.
if I hear even a whiff of Ghostbusters 2, watch what happens to the next person. You guys remember Steve, the mailman? Yes. Yeah, yeah, he has been gone for a bit. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's at that time, this was a guaranteed hit, and he was like, "We're not doing it," which is so
It,
bizarre.
I've never, because in the world we live in now, we're getting a sequel. When we know it, Gladiator 2, case in point, no one fucking asked for this film. We're getting it. It's going to bomb because its budget's ridiculous now. Um, Yet here we have a case of because of some personal hatred and his dedication to no more sequels, he's like the surefire bet. No, is he a precursor to Zaslav? Is this a like a anti Zaslav?
I mean, he's old. It could be the same guy. Just changed his name because no other studio would hire David Putnam, so he changed his name. I
And
don't know.
now he's all in on sequels. He changed it. He's like, yeah, guys, I want sequels. Original IP, fuck that shit. Oh, what's your original movie? Get out of here.
He
Give
can
me
only
sequel to Harry Potter.
he can only go in extremes one way or the other. There's no middle ground for this guy. No, that'd be hilarious. But that wasn't the only problem surrounding Ghostbusters 2. So Ivan Reitman, he blamed the cast.
Oh god damn it. There's
So this was not going to happen without the big three: Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis. And they didn't want to make a sequel for 3 years. They were like, we want a 3 year break from Ghostbusters to Ghostbusters 2.
I mean, I can kind of get that. They want to focus on some other stuff in between.
Yes. However, by the time the other two were ready to go, Bill Murray had committed to Scrooged. He had come out of kind of a semi retirement to do Scrooged.
What was that, like his sixth semi-retirement? He
At
does
the
that
time,
shit.
it was like his third. He was kind of burned out, wanted to just relax for a bit, but then got lured back with Scrooged, which he turned out to be another tumultuous production where he and Richard Donner did not work together at all,
Yeah, I will say how
or
many
together
times.
well. Sorry.
Yeah, I will say how many times have we heard over the years of Bill Murray being
Yeah.
like, "I'm going to retire. I'm tired of it," and then being lured back.
He got a nickname. They started calling him the Hurricane because he was just once he showed up, all hell broke loose. He was hectic. He was unreliable. He was crazy. He was unpredictable. You just hope to God he said something funny in front of the camera that you could cut together with the rest of the movie. So, yeah,
I just love you. Just say something funny.
stop berating everybody and make a joke, please, Bill.
Bill, just say the lines on the script, add a little of that touch, and we can just get through the day.
Uh, so a Ghostbusters sequel could not move forward without unanimous approval from Reitman and the three leads. All four people had to say yes to the product in order for this movie to go forward. And these
This,
guys usually got along, but not at the moment.
I say this really explains why like there's not like 10 Ghostbusters films now.
Putting just one of these fuckers together takes almost a decade, sometimes longer, and you better hope Bill Murray at least tolerates the script. Otherwise, I mean, he infamously sent the script for Ghostbusters 3 back in the 90s. He sent it back to Harold Ramis in shreds.
Yeah, but I was also back then when the whole fallout was happening between him and Ramis. So he was
Yeah.
just like, I am not working with him again. It's like,
Yeah. And Aykroyd was just
all right,
like, I just want to do Ghostbusters 3. Can you guys please just
no, no one's buying my vodka. I want to do Ghostbusters 3.
admit it? I love Dan Aykroyd to death. I think he's hilarious, but let's be honest, he is kind of a whore.
Yes. And hey, I it's his fault. I'm going to say it. I know we shouldn't victim blame. I'm going to here because if he stopped focusing on the crazy conspiracy theories and his Crystal Skull vodka stuff, and just focus on what he's good at, being a funny fucking comedian, I don't think he could be a little bit more choosy with his roles then.
I love that you inadvertently or probably intentionally compared conspiracy theorists to mental health victims, and I love that you did that.
You're welcome. I just every time I see him, I'm like, dude, if you just put your efforts into acting and being a comedian, you wouldn't have to just take whatever comes your way. You would be fine. You're a funny comedian, Dan.
Um, so eventually, Columbia was able to make this movie. They were able to announce the sequel was in development. However, when they announced that, they hadn't told Ivan Reitman.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He had not yet
They pulled the
approved.
classic. They did the classic, hey, we're just announcing and hope to God they'll play ball.
Yep, Reitman had not yet approved the script, which was not yet written. So, so they were like, "Yep, we're starting Ghostbusters 2," and Reitman's like, "We what? You how?"
Remember when they did that with Star Trek 4 and the I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel? And in both cases, all actors involved went, no, no one's talked to me. I have no idea what you're talking about. What? And both films, sight and out films, have yet to ever see the light of day. It sounds like you should stop trying to surprise guilt people into the movie by announcing it and then not telling them.
Yeah, that's never worked. Uh, D David Putnam was later removed from Columbia Pictures, so at least they learned in the '80s, like, we got to get rid of this guy. He's impeding progress.
Yeah,
And
if they're going to do that to Zaslav, Jesus Christ. I would hope he is just getting like hauled out, kicking and screaming about low budget any traumas. There, no one will listen to me. God damn it!
fuck you, just
Fuck you.
shrieking that.
You just sees Bill Murray, and especially fuck you.
Yeah, because that's why he was fired. He
Oh god damn.
publicly criticized Bill Murray, and Bill Murray had more clout than he did.
She
Uh,
reached for the sun a little too much there.
this is what Putnam said about Murray. Admittedly, I don't think it's that bad, but I guess Murray and his agent took this personally. Putnam said about Murray, he's, quote, an actor who makes millions of dollars from Hollywood without giving back to his art. He's a taker.
You know what? I'll say it is you wrong.
But here's the thing, who the fuck isn't? That's Hollywood. It's the job. You get paid to do wacky shit in front of the camera, and then you do another one. That's
Yeah.
acting. What
And
art? You're a producer. You wouldn't know art if it bit you in the ass. So
he
what the
doesn't because
fuck is this?
he doesn't because he's like money on the table if I just agree to a sequel. No.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
Columbia put fucking Andy Warhol in charge of their studio and was surprised that they weren't getting anything financially stable. The money
yeah,
people should do the money jobs. The art people should do the art jobs, and never the twain shall meet. That is how this works.
it, yeah, not the worst thing you could have said about Murray. I'm sure people have thought far worse of things to say about Murray. Um, do I think again, like, so I don't, again, on one end, he probably should have just kept his mouth shut. Because like I said, it's not like he was playing his part in getting Ghostbusters 2 fucking made. He kept denying them.
Well, he kept
Um,
the biggest thing he did this. So he said this about Murray, and said some choice words about Murray's agent, who also represented the other members of the Ghostbusters.
God
So
damn it.
basically, it was Putnam saying "fuck you" to the people who are going to star in my next big movie.
Yeah, and then that's when I'm sure WB went, well, yeah, what do we need to get him out of here? No, we're not.
This is Columbia. Zaslav has
Or
nothing to do with this.
Columbia, whatever. I keep forgetting.
You keep projecting. You keep doing that. Uh,
I don't know what you're talking about. You're clearly projecting here. Now, Columbia probably went, and we have what we need to get him out of here.
well, here's something else I thought was funny. So Putnam's replacement was named Dawn Steele, and she was told on day one, "Hey, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna make Ghostbusters 2." corporate leaders were like, that is priority one, so make it happen. I don't
I
care how
would
much
love
ass you have to kiss, make it happen.
I would love if like as soon as she gets to the office, there's like a memo on her like desk going, "Come to the boardroom." So she goes in there and just like immediately it's just everyone goes, "Take a seat. Go ahead, sit down. Listen to us. We got rid of the other guy. Ghostbusters 2 is happening. There's no ifs, there's no ands, there's no buts. It's happening. Make it fucking happen. Go talk to Bill. Play nice with Bill. Get him to fucking agree to it. Good
Yeah,
day."
pretty much. Because Bill Murray admittedly did not really want to do this. He didn't like sequels. He didn't feel like this needed a sequel. He didn't want to make this. He was you can kind of tell in the movie he's sleepwalking.
Yeah, the same guy who did two Garfield movies, but I mean, whatever.
At the time, well, this was at the time when he still thought he had integrity.
I know,
Because
I'm just saying, like, oh, I don't like sequels, I don't do sequels. Okay, Garfield 1 and 2. All right. And all
Zombieland
because
2
you,
and Ghostbusters 3 and 4.
yeah. And all because what? He read like the wrong script. He was thought, yeah, he read like the wrong script because he thought it was like the Coen brothers and it wasn't.
There's two Ethan Coens. One of them's the Coen brother. The other is a hack. He thought Garfield was written by the good one. It was not. But by
Yeah.
the time he
So,
found that out, he'd already agreed to star in it.
yeah. So
That doesn't explain Garfield 2, but it
it
explains the
doesn't.
first one.
Yeah. And that's why I say, like, you can't say that after you did those two films and be like, I don't do see. And then agree. Granted, I do think a lot with the Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think that had a lot to do with some humbling finally
Yeah.
in regards to the passing of Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
I think that had a lot to do with that and why he's planning to more ball a bit more with these more recent Ghostbusters films.
I think he feels insanely guilty, and I think Dan Aykroyd is probably manipulating that guilt a lot. Be like, hey
I,
Bill, you want to look at my script for Ghostbusters 4? I think Harold would have loved this. I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing that. I really wouldn't.
it's just like this evil ass Dan Aykroyd, like, hey Bill, before you shred this like a monster, like you did to Harold, you want to read the script he would have liked so much? Look at, I even put his name on there.
And while you're reading that script, how about a nice crisp glass of Crystal Skull vodka
I got it straight from the mountains.
to wash down that angry bile, Bill? Huh? How about it?
Also, here's a contract. Go ahead. Sign right there.
But quickly, because the men in black are after me, and I can only stay here for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, to hurry up. And I gotta have the vodka back. Sign the goddamn thing, Bill.
Bill Murray's an ass, and Dan Aykroyd's crazy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
And
Now as
Ernie
far as
Hudson's over here, like, can I have a line, please?
can I have more screen time and not get shoved out of the poster?
Uh,
But now you cannot explain why the fuck Bill Murray showed up in the goddamn remake, Mr. Oh, I won't do three, but he showed up in the fucking
that was
remake.
that was spite. That was entirely spite. He's like he said for years he would never do Ghostbusters 3, and then when that came out, he was like, yeah, I'll do something because it was like they won't shut up about Ghostbusters 3, so maybe this will I'll do this. It was yeah. So once everyone got on board for good, worked out any bad blood among them, Aykroyd got to work on the script. The first draft was kind of wacky. Uh, this was the first draft of Ghostbusters 2.
Oh boy.
Dana Barrett is kidnapped and taken to Scotland, where she discovers a fairy ring, which is a naturally occurring ring of mushrooms, kind of linked to folklore with fairy tales. Uh, she finds an underground civilization of fairies, and the Ghostbusters have to travel through an underground pneumatic tube over 2,000 miles long that would have taken them 3 days to traverse in order to get her back. So it would have been the Ghostbusters versus fairies.
I see nothing but trouble was bleeding through.
Well, that came out 2 years later. So yeah.
Yeah, he never left him.
What a nasty movie that was. Um, I think if they had just
Masterpiece in the making.
if they decided to make that just full horror, I think it would have been better.
Yeah, yeah. Just,
Yeah.
God, can you imagine Ghostbusters? You can watch with your family. Ghostbusters 2 is rated R. Don't bring your kids to this shit.
Um, Ramis reworked the script. That's what he did. Aykroyd would write it, and Ramis would look at it and be like, "No," and fix everything that needed to be fixed.
Dan, I'm going to revise this, and really, it's just him just throwing the script out, going, "This is shit. Let me rewrite the whole goddamn thing."
Well, he put the movie back in New York and decided to make the film reflect how the characters have changed during the 5 year gap between films. That had, and it had really been 5 years, so they were going to play with that. Uh, the River of Slime was conceived early in this collaboration. This was Harold Ramis's idea. He wanted the slime beneath New York to present a moral issue caused by the buildup of negative human emotions. He considered it a metaphor for urban decay and kind of a call to arms for a human solution, but that kind of got buried in the script. Got got a little bit more overt, less metaphorical.
Yeah, the '80s where they were eating that shit up back then, big time.
Mm-hmm. They thought it would be Aykroyd and Ramis thought it'd be funny if New York basically had to be nice or die. And yeah, like what if New York had to, stop being a dick for an entire city just once or everything would die. And that's pretty much what the movie is.
Yeah, which I'll say it. It's like, oh, like when people are like, "Well, I'm just from New York," to explain their attitude. Fuck you. You're rude. You're a dick. Don't use your city as a way to fucking explain that. Like it. No.
Yeah, I think you should counter that. Somebody says like, sorry, excuse me, I'm from New York after being an asshole. You should be like, oh, that explains it. See, down here we would just call you a cunt. But excuse me, New Yorker. That makes sense.
New Yorker. Sorry. I'm just. Have you noticed that they'll do that shit? They'll be like an asshole. Like, I'm sorry. I'm from New York. Okay, we're here. We have manners. We're not cunts to everyone. How's that sound, buddy?
Yeah. I don't I always love when people have a dumbass reason for why they're being an asshole and they like, excuse me, I'm a Sagittarius or shit like that. Like, no, you're an asshole.
Yeah, you're an asshole. It's not. Don't use your city or your fucking astrology sign as a reason to explain why you're an asshole.
If you
So
are using your astrology sign to explain away any of your behavior, I just assumed not only you're an asshole, you're probably an idiot too.
yeah, I probably won't want anything to do with you, being honest. But also, that's why I don't really go to New York. I have no business, no, not business, no want to really spend a lot of time in New York or and deal with assholes that's just their way of life. Fuck that.
Yeah, none of my business partners are in New York either. Um, I've been to New York once. It smells weird. It's a nasty city, but
Yeah,
they have a lot of history and a lot of art there that's really fascinating to see and amazing food. But the people suck and it stinks.
yeah, that's what I said. I could visit for a few days, but eventually I'd be like, let me hit like the stuff I want to hit up and then get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can only clean that city up so much. It's going to stink. It's a fucking
I,
huge ass city.
I wanted to carry around some like Vapo Rub to put under my nose, like when a cop goes to a coroner's office. It was just so smelled like endless piles of garbage. It just disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like I said, the people suck. They're constantly honking. I hate because in New York, when the light turns green, they honk immediately as if, like, no, no, I'm not looking at the light like you are, buddy.
I didn't see anybody actually driving in New York. I just saw cars stopped at lights. I didn't see any movement ever. I don't know what the hell are you honking at? I,
I don't know. Yeah. Does the traffic even move?
I don't see it.
Anything else?
Yeah, New York. I'd go back. I'd go back for art, for tourist reasons, but I would never like live there.
Oh, fuck no. Not living in New York.
Um, so during in between the first two Ghostbusters movies, they released a show, The Real Ghostbusters, a spin-off TV show, which became real popular with its target audience, which was children. So they decided to capitalize on that and try to make this one a little bit more kid-friendly, which is why you have a scene deep in the underneath the subway where Winston and the other two guys are surrounded by heads on sticks because kids love heads on sticks.
80s all the time, man. They were just saying, hey, this R-rated property, cartoon it
Yeah, don't
the
really get
hell
that.
up.
So, like,
Toxic Avenger, not meant for children, but that goddamn show was.
weird. But Slimer returns in brief cameos because he's a like kind of their pet in the show. Just kind of weird.
Yeah, it's that I will say was it took me a while when I first watched the movies after seeing the show because Slimer's such like a poster child in the show. that when I saw the movie, I was like, "Where the fuck's Slimer?"
The role of Vigo was played by Wilhelm von Homburg, who had all of his lines dubbed by Max von Sydow or
Mhm.
Sydow, sorry. And nobody told him. He found out at the premiere,
Oh, that's nice.
and he stormed out, super pissed.
I mean, I would too.
Yeah, this dude had a fucking life. Like he pretty much blew all his Ghostbusters money on like hookers and cocaine. He just was crazy. Had a temper, was hard to work with. I think he was one of the terrorists in Die Hard. Let me confirm that.
Well, I mean, hey, it's good to know that 80s dubbing is better than what we got this year.
Yeah, he was. His
Ah.
father was a Nazi.
Ooh.
Yeah. Here's what his father said. Tell me if you see anything problematic in this statement. Uh, this is from Richard Group, father of Wilhelm von Homburg. He was a local policeman who worked at the Buchenwald concentration camp. He said, I was never a Nazi. I never joined the party. I was not in the Hitler Youth. I was a pastry man. I have not much luck with the Jewish people, but I never hated them. I'm very sorry for what Hitler did to the Jewish people. I love that he had to be like, I don't really have a lot of luck with the Jews, but I didn't want them all dead.
Yeah, what does that mean? What?
I don't know. I do not know.
I, I don't really look out with them, but hey, I don't want them dead. I That's like the guy that's like, those guys are like, I'm not racist. I just think we should stick with our own kind.
He was a professional boxer, 30 wins, 24 knockouts, 6 decisions, 11 losses, 6 draws. So accomplished boxer. And he did play James in Die Hard. He died in 2004 from, I believe, prostate cancer. Yeah. Um, at that point he was homeless, living at the YMCA. So
Oh,
guy had an existence. Uh, yeah,
he
fascinating.
lived.
He did. He
Yeah.
lived, but he didn't voice Vigo, and this was his most, his claim to fame for the most part, his big one.
Yeah. I mean, it's still like I don't think, like I said, it's amazing that dubbing in this film, I didn't even notice until you said it. And yet, a movie this year couldn't be bothered to dub anything correctly.
Well, I mean, at least we know that he was in South America researching spiders with her mom before she died. Um, by the
That
way,
much was made abundantly clear.
that line ended up at the Oscars.
Oh my God,
Part of
yes.
part of John Mulaney's opening bit when he was presenting something. I think it was
Yes.
screenplay. It was like iconic movie lines like, if you build it, they will come. And she was in South America researching spider. Like he did a, yeah, it was really clever. Um, but yeah, Wilhelm von Homburg, hell of a dude, boxer, and Vigo. In the
Yes.
did you ever play the
As
Ghostbusters video game from like 2013?
No, I have the Switch port. I just haven't had a chance to play it, but I do have the Switch port of it.
They all came back to voice their characters. It's awesome. It was Ghostbusters 3 before they made Afterlife. It's written to be Ghostbusters 3. And Vigo is in the game. His painting's in their firehouse, and you can go talk to it. And it's Max von Sydow recorded new lines.
Oh, that's nice. I
Yeah,
like how this time they just got Max Poncito.
yeah. He'll say stuff like I shall return in blood and stuff like that. But sometimes he'll say like, "How are you enjoying the game?" And it's funny to hear Vigo break the fourth wall like that.
Are you having a good time? Are you not entertained?
Ghostbusters 2, despite Putnam trying to make it never happen, was a huge box office hit. Who knew? Everybody but him.
Whoa, fucking shocker.
Yeah. Grossed 215 million on a budget of 40 million. It was the eighth highest grossing film of 1989.
Do you think Putnam went to go see it?
I have a feeling he was banned from the theater. I bet he went to the like Columbia Pictures screening room and they're like, "No, sir.
No,
No."
no. You kept us from doing this for way too long. Fuck off.
Uh just for to compare, I thought it would be fun if we looked at the top 10 highest grossing films of 1989 just to see like a complete difference in
Oh,
what.
you mean back when there was fucking Variety and was top high
Yeah,
grossing films and not just a Marvel film followed by six other ones?
pretty much.
Okay, yeah, let's.
This was the top 10 of 1989 globally. Number 10, Parenthood
Okay. Okay.
with 100 million worldwide. Number 9, Driving Miss Daisy,
Hell yeah, try Miss Daisy. Look at that.
106 million. The best picture winner of 1989 in the top 10 highest grossing. That doesn't happen anymore. Well, it did this
You
time.
know it. No, it doesn't.
It did this time, but not usually.
What I guarantee you, one of the highest grossing films we'll have this year is Deadpool and Wolverine. I know I just made the joke about the Marvel films. It'll be one of the highest grossing films of the year. Will it be nominated for Best Picture? Fuck no.
No. Number 8, Ghostbusters 2. Number 7, Back to the Future Part 2, 118 million.
Again, variety. Look at this. So far, so good.
Number 6, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids,
A lot of
130
family movies are
million.
popping up.
Yeah, Rick Moranis is in here twice. Good for him.
He had a good year.
Yeah. Number 5, Look Who's Talking,
There you go, John.
140 million. Like
There you go.
this is crazy. Look Who's Talking all right. Number 4, Lethal Weapon 2,
Oh, wow. Okay.
147 million.
Like when we all liked Mel and he wasn't problematic.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
Number 3, Dead Poet Society,
Wow, look at that. A action followed by a fucking Robin Williams drama.
174 million dollars.
The drama outperformed the action movie. Holy shit.
The top 2 are pretty damn obvious. If you like, when you hear about it, you're gonna be like, yeah, of course, those are the top 2.
Mm.
Number 2, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade,
That tracks. That
100,
fucking tracks.
197 million. Now keep that number in mind because the amount of money the number one movie made is a significant fucking jump from 197 million. Number
Okay.
1 is Batman, $401 million.
Nothing came close to
Not
Batman.
even in the same fucking stratosphere. That is
Jesus.
remarkable.
God, again though, look at the variety. Like, look, I know, like, all joking aside, when it comes to, like, my shit on, like, the Oscars and stuff, I'm feeling a little bit inspired after watching the Roger Corman uh episode of The Last Drive-In. It is like generally when I say, like, overall when it comes to film, I want more things. Like, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about that I would love to see in cinemas now. Don't get me wrong, I like my Marvel films. I am actually quite looking forward to Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to a lot of the big blockbuster films we're getting this year with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the Mad Max movie. I'm looking forward to these things. I am. But I do pine for those kind of days when you did get variety coming out. Like, you look at those top 10 highest grossing films, it's a mixture of, yes, sequels. It's a mixture of brand new fucking material. It's a mixture of genres. You had dramas, you had action, you had a superhero film, you had comedies, quite a bit of, you had family, like, you had all sorts of them compared to, like, nowadays where it's like, it doesn't surprise you when you're like, oh yeah, those make sense. Like, those were the summer blockbusters of the year.
Yeah.
I really wish for the days when we got that kind of success with that kind of variety of film.
Real quick, just for kicks, let's see what last year's top 10 were.
Look, I know Oppenheimer and Barbie, and besides that, your guess is as good as mine.
Number 10, Elemental.
Okay, a Pixar film. Okay.
Number 9, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, that made a lot of money.
Number 8, The Little Mermaid.
Again, Disney. Okay.
Number 7, Wonka.
Okay.
Number 6, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Number 5, Fast X. Number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Disney, third time. Got it. Okay.
Number 3, Oppenheimer. A drama. Again, it may have giant spectacle, but Oppenheimer was a drama, and it's weird to see a drama get that much money these days.
Yeah. And I mean, it'd do as well as it did. Yeah, absolutely.
Number 2, the Super Mario Brothers movie, and number 1, Barbie. And those are the only $2 billion hits from last year.
God damn. Yeah, well, I know Mario and Barbie made a killing at the box office.
Yeah. But Oppenheimer is the only, and Elemental to an extent, the only original content in that top 10.
Yeah, it's literally all sequels. Well,
Sequels or based on existing properties.
I was about to say Super Mario, you can kind of stretch that, but it is based off a very long running video game franchise.
Yeah. Oh my God. Meg 2 made more than Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't notice that. Oh, wow.
I need us to stop letting China dictate the box office on certain films because of them we got like Meg 2 and Avatar sequels making money. Like fuck you. They're not that good. Get better taste.
Um, yeah, whenever a film we talk about cracks that top 10, I want to talk about the top 10 of that year just to look at like the competition, you know?
Yeah, because a lot of those like you look at the Oscar films that come out this year, none of them come close to cracking what those films are cracking from
Except
last.
Oppenheimer, which won Best Picture.
Well, and Barbie because it was Oscar nominated.
Yep, and
Yeah, I
Barbie.
know.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
this was a weird year, admittedly, for 2023. I think those were big hits because of the whole marketing thing and because admittedly, what else were people going to see?
Well, marketing, and we talked about it last year, was I think people was finally like the year that defined people being tired of the same old when it came to the
Yes.
summer blockbuster. Because most of the ones that did make that top 10 summer blockbuster were generally well received films
And Fast
by
X.
critics and fans,
Yeah.
minus Fast X,
Yeah.
minus that one.
Yeah. Ghostbusters 2 has an IMDb score of 6.6, Rotten Tomatoes score of 55%, audience score of 61%. Eh.
Eh,
Critics' consensus reads, thanks to the cast, Ghostbusters 2 is reasonably amusing, but it lacks the charm, wit, and energy of its predecessor. To an extent, I do agree. I don't think it
yeah,
lacks all of it, but I do think it is missing some of it.
yeah. I won't say it lacks. It just doesn't. The spark doesn't feel as bright as it did in the first film.
Admittedly, yeah. With that, let's talk about some of our favorite things from this movie. Best scene, best performance, best music moment, and best line. So where do you want to start?
Let's do performances this time. Let's knock all these people out.
Okay. I do, as much as annoying as his character is, I do think Peter McNichol is doing a very good job as this character because he's supposed to be this annoying little man who will never get the girl, who is given this seemingly incalculable power, and it goes straight to his head.
Yeah, I mean, look, for his part, it's a good performance. It's just the character itself. It's definitely one of those like, oh, this is who we're using as the villain. Kind of like Cypher, like just give me Vigo.
I love that you referred to him as Cypher. Like that's the trope, a Cypher. The
Yeah,
Matrix, folks, by the way.
yeah, The Matrix. One of the greatest fucking action films ever.
Um, yeah, he's annoying, but I think it's a good performance. I don't think I want to give some props to Ernie Hudson. I think he always does the best he can with a role that was originally written for Eddie Murphy and was cut down substantially when he turned it down.
Yeah, which is kind of shitty on their part to be like, oh, we didn't get it. We're just gonna cut this roll down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always liked Ernie Hudson in these films. I am very glad that like Jason Reitman and company have been doing right by him, it seems like, with these newer films and making him a much more prominent member. Since admittedly of the whole cast member, he seems the most game to be back for these films.
Well, I love that in Afterlife, it's revealed that like he is now super rich and funding the Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I mean, I Ernie Hudson to me has always been one of the more outspoken, like cooler of the cast members when it comes to like the franchise, the legacy, and how he is with the fans with it. Like he's always seemed to really embrace this. So to me, it just feels right that he's finally getting like the attention he fucking deserves.
Yeah.
You know, I like how in the new trailer for the new ones, he's actually much more prominent. He is shown in them, thank God. Like it, yeah. I've always liked Ernie Hudson's character. I just like Ernie Hudson. I think he's always a fun presence to have in a film. So he's also, for those who don't know, he's also in The Crow. Yeah, that film, that remake that's coming out that's pissing everyone off for no good reason. Ernie Hudson was in the original Crow. He's really good in that. Um, so I like him in that. I like him in both these films and the new ones.
Yeah. Me too. Um, admittedly, that's kind of it for me. I don't think I think the other three Ghostbusters are just kind of going through the motions here.
I was going to actually point out Rick Moranis because I've always liked Rick Moranis. Like, let's give him some fucking flowers.
He's good. I think his character doesn't need to be in this movie, but he's doing a good job with what he's given.
I think had they just left him with the courtroom scene, like he
Yeah,
would just be like a cameo. It would have been like fantastic. But then they don't know what to do with him after that.
he's the Ghostbusters tax lawyer. It's kind of funny. Um, I think Annie Potts is given more to do in this one. Her subplot with like romance with Rick Moranis isn't really necessary, but she makes me laugh.
Yeah, well, especially because the romance line is not going anymore because it's not like Rick Moranis is coming back for this new one. So it's
Well,
not like
also
we're gonna follow up.
Afterlife kind of implied that she like got back together with Egon.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Um, how about Kurt Fuller? Does anybody play a smarmy dick like Kurt Fuller?
He is one of the, I always forget he's in here and I'm like, hey, Supernatural. And I'm like,
Yeah, Zachariah,
yeah, I'm like, Zachariah.
the
I'm like,
first
I
angel we
forget.
hated.
Yeah, I'm like, I forget he's in this movie every fucking time.
Everything I see him in, he's this just smug douchebag who gets his, and I don't know if he's got to be aware of that.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he I usually guys who like do this role, like they're known for playing like the douchebags in movies. They're usually the nicest ones out off camera. Like they're very aware of what they get paid to play all the time. They just kind of embrace it. So I hope he is like that, where he's like actually super nice and chill, and he's just like, yeah, I keep getting these roles and I'm good at it. So I'll
His
take the money.
his death in Supernatural is one of my favorite moments of that whole show. When, you know, he tries to convince Dean to give consent to be Michael's vessel and he won't do it. And he tells Dean, you are not what he said, you are a maggot inside a worm's ass. And then Dean stabs him in the fucking face. Just like the look of like, I can't believe that just happened on his face is so perfect. And that's when shit like got real in that show.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. God, that don't get me wrong, I love all of that show pretty much, but like God, those first 5 seasons especially.
Yeah.
Ooh,
The Kripke era where he had the complete story, those, yeah,
yes.
those were solid.
Yeah, and I love that Kripke is now that he's doing the boys, he just keeps asking members of the cast to be in the boys. Like we're getting Jeffrey fucking Dean Morgan, and I'm like, yes, yes, put him in this universe.
Yeah. I've been thinking about a rewatch of Supernatural. It's just so daunting, but I want to go back in. I love that show so much.
Such a good show. I fell in love real quick with that. It's like a comfort show now for me.
Yeah. It's
Especially,
some of the most
yeah,
creative storytelling I've ever seen. Just the way they use like biblical characters and mythology and like it was great. It was so
yeah.
great.
When they did their comedy episodes, those were
Yeah.
some of the best. Those were some of the fucking
Yeah.
best.
The way they handled God was really smart. Like that show does not get enough credit for being just really like solid for 15 seasons.
Yeah, and to me, sticking the landing. I thought they stuck the landing with the series
We
finale.
are me and you are like the only people in the fandom who think they stuck the landing.
Yeah, I've realized that people were like bitch about it. I'm like, I actually thought this was true to the characters in the story. Like I like this.
It was beautiful and it made me cry harder than any piece of fiction ever has. That's all I need.
Yeah, I didn't cry, but I definitely had that moment of like, oh shit, it's over. Like it is. This is it. And I did get sad. I got sad. I was like, oh, no more Supernatural. It's been a part of my life for so long.
But in this movie, Kurt Fuller is the mayor's assistant who's just, doing whatever he can to make sure the Ghostbusters cannot interact with the mayor. Because the Ghostbusters, ever since they defeated Gozer and were subsequently sued for damages by the entire city of New York, uh, they're kind of a liability now. So
Yeah, which I don't want to know how much you can possibly get sued for when the whole city's after you. Jesus.
I mean, they basically blew up the penthouse of a very expensive Central Park West apartment building. That's a few million right there.
In New York, that's in the millions.
Yeah.
The place is expensive.
I mean, they're doing birthday parties now, so there haven't been a lot of ghosts to catch.
No, no.
Instead of Janosch, I would have had Vigo's like human guy. I would have made it Peck.
Oh my God, bring Peck back. Well, I mean, it looks like Peck is back in the new one.
I'm excited. Yeah, I always like William Atherton, another guy who got typecast as just a super douche and only played those kinds of
There's a
characters.
lot. There's a lot of guys in the 80s that just that's all they did was play like the douchiest characters
Yeah.
possible.
William Atherton, Paul Gleason, The Breakfast Club.
Mm,
Like, yeah, there was just a, I don't know, it's the way people held themselves, this kind of like, you know, authority figure thing. I don't know what it was. But
yeah, there was the one in Ferris Bueller that he could have had a career, but
oh, Jeffrey Jones,
yes, other things got discovered about him that
he had a
derailed
very
all
good
of it.
career for, he was one of Tim Burton's go-to guys. I liked him a lot. Beetlejuice, Sleepy Hollow, Ed Wood. I liked him a lot. And when I found out about all that, I was kind of devastated. I was like, shit, I really liked him. And he hurt a lot of people. And that's horrible. Uh,
He was a
he's out
monster.
free now somehow. So yeah,
Hollywood just slaps him on the wrist. That's it.
he didn't done any movies because you can't diddle kids and go back to work.
Yeah, I mean, Victor Saw was the only one that apparently got away with that, and finally Hollywood was like, "Yeah, we're done with you."
Yeah. And Pete Townsend, apparently. A lot of people forget that.
Yeah, and technically, Anthony Kiedis did admit to sexual relations with an underage woman in his book, and everyone just went, "Okay."
What a weird thing to freely admit in your story about you and for no one to push back on.
Yeah, no one said anything. They just went, "Yeah, all right," and then wonder why he's in his 60s saying someone in his 20s. I'm like, because he literally was doing underage women
Well,
before this.
on the plus side, now we know what Can't Stop is about.
I, I mean, I guess we should be happy that in his 60s, he's at least now keeping it of age. But it does explain a lot.
Well, if he wasn't, apparently he would let us all know, wouldn't he?
He would just put in his sequel biography book.
Bam, 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 bam.
Can't stop.
Right? Yeah, that's oof. Californication too. Anything about, yeah, suck my kiss, all of them are now kind of gross.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, shit. Where were all right, what were performance? Yeah. Um
Yeah.
uh yeah, I think Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and Dan Aykroyd, they're doing Ghostbusters too, but I don't, there are times where it doesn't really feel like their heart's in it.
Well, I think because I know his heart was, I don't think really that super deep into this one.
Probably not.
Even Sigourney Weaver, who like I mean, like everyone else in America, I've always enjoyed. Granted, I've never like been like I only say this. I don't know why. When I first getting into like things like this and like Alien and stuff and things I've been, the amount of times like my parents talk about like, oh, she was so like beautiful in her day, and I'm like, I really like Sigourney Weaver. I'm not saying she's like, I just don't. I don't know. I guess I had to be a kid in that time period to get it. But I'm like, I like her, but can I watch the movie?
I don't know why you decided to bring that up, but okay.
Yeah, it got brought up all the time anytime I watch the film with her. Like my mom would be like, God, I'm like, I'm watching Alien. I don't care about this right now.
Okay. Well, I think that she's also here for like a contractual obligation. I don't think her, I don't know. Do you think that Oscar is Peter's son?
Maybe they never really say that she slept with anyone else, like in between one and two. Like that she dated and slept with someone else.
Well, there's the guy she married who left her in Ghostbusters 2. That's Oscar's father, that she says is Oscar's father.
That she says is Oscar's
But
father.
I don't think that, I think it's Peter.
And it's probably Peter. We'll never know because even that tease we got in like Afterlife made me go like, oh hey, but I haven't seen anything saying Sigourney Weaver's back for Frozen Empire. So
Well, I was hoping maybe like Oscar is now like, you know, a government, like maybe he's like running against Peck for mayor or something, or it'd be cool if Oscar made an appearance.
it would be. I mean, that's a surprise because I was like actually like, oh shit, when they did the post credit scene Afterlife, and I was like, hey, there she is. And then I thought maybe that would lead into like more Sigourney Weaver and Frozen Empire, but unless they're keeping it close to the vest again, I haven't seen anything of her in the trailer. So
And admittedly, they haven't really been that uh open to revisiting anything established by Ghostbusters 2,
yeah, that's true.
which is a
You
shame.
kind
Not
of.
This is not the black sheep. This is a decent movie.
Oh, it's definitely not the black sheep. We know what the black sheep is.
Um, let's do music. Um, we only really briefly get the Ray Parker Jr. Ghostbusters song in this movie.
Yeah, we did in like the very beginning.
Yeah, the opening credits. Well, the opening Ghostbusters logo. Uh, Run DMC did their own version this time, and then we get a Bobby Brown single several times.
I mean, that was the thing, right? Back in the 80s, they get like some big famous hip hop group to like do the fucking song. Like Nightmare on Elm Street has one. I think the fourth or fifth movie.
Uh, Bobby Brown, who did "On Our Own," the hit single from this movie, has a cameo in the film. Did you catch it?
No.
He's the guy who's outside the hospital when the Ghostbusters show up, and he's like, "Hey, my kid really wants a proton pack. Do you think you could get one?" And Egon's like, "The proton pack is not a toy."
Oh, I didn't know that was him. Okay.
That was Bobby Brown, the guy who, according to a lot of people, killed Whitney Houston. So um,
Bum, bum, bum.
yeah, that's your prerogative. Um, that's a dumb joke. So for music, I have the first one I want to shout is Ray and Winston at the birthday party because that is such a pathetic scene. uh,
They look like they're just not happy to be there.
they're the only ones who look like they're happy to be there at first, and all the kids are like, "Where's He-Man?" Which, really?
Yeah. Hey, it was the 80s. People like T-Man.
I guess they did. Fun fact: the kid who says, my dad says you guys are full of crap." That's Jason Reitman.
Ah,
Yeah,
ah.
funny. Uh, but yeah, they put on the tape deck the Ghostbusters song and try to make the birthday party lively, which means that in this universe, Ray Parker Jr. wrote a song about the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, so the song is real.
It's kind of weird.
It's not for the movie.
Uh, but yeah, and then the kids are like, still chanting for He-Man, and they give up, they get paid, and they're like, "Remember when we were relevant? That was fun."
Remember when people liked us?
I don't. The image of Ray leaving the house with like a stack of cash and a birthday hat is so fucking sad.
Yeah. He doesn't even look like he's like in it. He's like, I got the money.
Here's your share. Winston's like, "Dude, what are we doing?" But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good opener to see like the Ghostbusters are gone except for them who can't do anything else. Ray is, still devoted, but Winston, admittedly, these aren't job skills that can translate to anything else. He can't really go anywhere else.
So yeah, they are fucked.
They are fucked. Um, yeah. So, and what do you got?
I put a couple of things down. I did like again, like what I do like about the Ghostbusters films that they do a really I do actually kind of consider the Ghostbusters films like a good gateway horror in a way because they
Oh
have
yeah.
that perfect blend of like, horror and humor and they ride that line and the reason I mentioned that is because I actually do think like the part when like the music like more creepier music starts to play when Dana is in the bathroom changing Oscar. I think after his bath, and you see the slime coming out of the bathtub,
Mm,
and the music starts to, like it gets actually kind of like a horror movie score,
yeah.
and gets like real creepy and like attempts to attack her, but it's going in reverse. She's badass, or in this case, she just thinks because it's not a horror movie, so she actually thinks of what to do. It doesn't just stay in the bathroom, and she gets out in time. Um, but I mean, she would be a badass. She gave us aliens. I'm just gonna act like there two don't exist. Um.
You think that Dana Barrett ever gets tired of the fact that like ancient, powerful gods and sorcerers all seem to want her?
Yeah. These movies really hone in on like what people thought of like Sigourney Weaver back in the day. They're like, hey, she's hot. We want her.
Yeah. See, I mean,
Especially
after
especially the first film. The first one goes hard on that fucking big time. They're like, yeah, she's hot, right, guys? Uh-huh. 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 We want her.
after Gozer, I would have left New York. I would have just gotten a new place. I would have fucking left that city.
Yeah, I'm like, look, Sigourney, buddy, like just leave the city. Let the next new hot young woman move in and let the ghosts attach to her.
Um, I have the it's ridiculous, but Some about this film just makes it work. The whole Statue of Liberty sequence. Um,
Such a crazy sequence.
they blast the Statue of Liberty with this positively charged slime, and then play Jackie Wilson, and it instinctively knows what to do and where to go. Libby wakes up and walks to the museum with Jackie Wilson blasting across the city. It's ridiculous, but it somehow they make it work, and it's endearing. I don't know why. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know how it. Yeah, it works. Um, I did also put again thinking about like things that just like make you wonder like I don't know how they made it work. But we talked about like the remix theme they kept kind of doing. I did kind of actually like it when like the montage, like when the Ghostbusters are back and like you see all the ghosts attacking people in the city. I did kind of like the remix theme that was playing during that segment. It fit what was happening on screen.
Something strange going on. Something's wrong. It's not a great song, but I agree.
Yeah, it's not a great mix of it, but hey, I was like, it works for this scene.
On two separate half price books visits, I found Run DMC's Ghostbusters and Bobby Brown's On Our Own singles on vinyl. Both were under $5 because yeah, and I bought both, so I have those.
Of course you do.
I do like the montage. I don't know why they had to catch the jogger ghost. He wasn't hurting anybody.
Yeah, and they went undercover. I like how for that one they went undercover.
If I, I feel like if there is an afterlife and you die and you become a ghost, at the very least, you shouldn't have to exercise anymore. What are you burning? What's the point?
Yeah, I'm like, if you're a ghost that's running, I'm gonna be like, what are you doing? You know what? Be like the ghost from Doom Patrol. There's like in the later seasons, their mansion gets infested with sex ghosts that just keep fucking. So and they get rid of it, but then like there's always like occasionally they'll start hearing moaning and it's like the sex ghost going on and they're just like, God damn it. And it's just a part of their lives. And I'm like, see, those ghosts know what's up. That, yes. I was like, but running, you want to exercise when you're dead? Like, look, when you're dead, if you're a ghost and all that shit's real, enjoy the finer things in life, right? Enjoy those things because, you got all eternity to enjoy it now. Why would you exercise? Why?
Pretty cool how they were able to catch that like poltergeist at the jewelry store. Like, remember that?
Oh, wait. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It took me years to figure out what the hell were they doing in there, but it was like, oh, poltergeist. Got it. Uh,
Yeah, that's I do, they find creative ways to get them. I do. I like how like I wonder what's the game plan when they decide to just go in their regular uniforms when they go undercover. Because like I said, I don't think the jogger one was necessary to be undercover for. I feel
well,
like
I
you could
don't.
have.
It was either that or blast nuclear fire into a park, into a very crowded
I
area.
like option two a lot.
I imagine there's got to be like Ghostbusters insurance, in New York, or like like a lawyer who specializes in, were you maimed in a ghost hunting incident? Call now.
You are entitled to compensation.
Yeah. Um, let's go to line. Uh, like the first movie, this was written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. Although this time they had to please a couple more people constantly. So, this evolved from fairies in Scotland to slime in New York. Uh, what are some lines you liked from Ghostbusters 2?
Oh, there's quite a bit actually because I will say there's some good zingers in this one. Um, one one I liked came from the mayor. He perfectly sums up how our New Yorkers are when they finally get a chance to talk to him. Is right before he leaves the room, he says, "Being miserable and treating everyone like dirt is every New Yorker's God-given right." I won't lie. I got a chuckle out of that because I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. New Yorkers are fucking miserable and they want the whole world to know they're miserable and treat everyone like shit because they're miserable. It tracks.
What am I going to do? Call a press conference and tell 12 million people to be nice to each other? Yeah. Well, then it's the same mayor. After the events of the first movie, when a marshmallow man walked through Central Park West, wouldn't that get you not reelected? I mean, how the hell did they convince everybody that that didn't happen?
No, apparently his approval rating just shot through the roof.
Um, a passing line I always makes me chuckle is when we first meet Janosch and he's walking, he's putting, put the Vigo in the arch and all that. He walks past a guy and just says, "Everything you're doing is bad. I want you to know this." And it just keeps walking. I thought, can you
Such
imagine
a douchey.
your boss telling you that? Like you're just, I want you to know everything you're doing is wrong. So yeah, and then it just keeps walking. Doesn't give you any feedback or how to fix it. Just you suck right now, and that's it.
You are the worst. I'd be like, the fuck just happened?
Uh,
I I had a actually, you know what, on that note, when the Ghostbusters go in to inspect the painting, they just bust on in there. And I like that moment where they're standing there and Bill Murray sucking the guts, guys. We're the Ghostbusters.
I like when Janosch sees him and he's like, "Nope, get out of here." And Ray's like, "Who's this?" Pete's like, "He's yours, Ray. Sick him." Just the contempt he has for this guy is so I love it. Um,
Not like this guy.
Another Janosch. I thought this was funny because, like, why the hell would you say this to an all-powerful demigod seeking to take over the world? It's when Vigo's like the second time Vigo summons him and he's introducing himself again. He's like, "I, Vigo, the scourge of Carpathia." And Janos like, you said that already. Like, I've heard this." Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Why are you trying to piss off this super powerful sorcerer ghost who's about to take over the city?
Yeah, maybe not do it to this guy right now.
Just made me laugh that he always is why would he do that?
Yeah, yeah, no. I know when he said that, I was like, why would you say that to him? Why would you do that? This guy can kill you.
Oh,
Um, another one I had quite a bit of ones actually. Was when Lewis is representing them in court, and he goes on that long fucking story that has nothing to do with what the Ghostbusters are doing. He sits back down, and Egon just looks at him and goes, "Very good, Lewis. Short, but pointless."
I have that first bit written down, specifically the part where he says, "But I don't blame them because one time I turned into a dog and they helped me. Thank you." And the judge just looks at him like, "What the hell did he just say?" Oh, I like when he comes in, his introduction's like, "I think you guys are making a big mistake. I got my law degree at night school." And Ray's like, "Well, that's great, Lewis. We got arrested at night." Um, my all-time favorite line from this movie, I don't know why I love this line so much. It's at the end of the movie where Vigo has like paralyzed the Ghostbusters. He's about to take over Oscar, and Venkman decides to throw out a Hail Mary and just piss off Vigo. And he says, "Only a Carpathian would come back to life now and choose New York." I don't know what that always cracks me up.
Yeah, as if like New York is the one city you shouldn't touch.
Uh, yeah.
Ah, yeah, that's a good one. I did get a good laugh when they get like committed to the asylum and like they're just babbling to the guy like because of course I love that like you know Ray and Egon are fucking oblivious and will go on these rants in front of people like it's nothing. Winston just always looks like, guys, you need to shut up. Please stop talking. But then I love that you had fucking Pete in the back going, don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Yeah. I love that bit. Um, One line that always makes me laugh is in the courtroom scene when Lewis is so obviously leading the witness. And
Oh, he's just talking to him.
yeah, the other lawyer calls him out and he just says to her, "Give me a break. We're both lawyers."
I mean, you can clearly hear Bill Murray talking to Lewis, like, he's
He's not even hiding it. Like
yeah,
from the get go, Pete's like, "Yeah, we're going to prison," so he doesn't even bother fighting it.
he doesn't care. He's like, we're fucked.
I do love when he has his moment on the stand where the lawyer like is grilling him about what the Ghostbusters do, and she says something like, "So the realm of the paranormal is your exclusive area of expertise," and he first up he calls her kitten. Says, "What I'm saying is sometimes shit happens, someone has to deal with it, and who are you going to call?" And everyone starts applauding. But clearly, the people never lost faith in the Ghostbusters. It was the government, the state government, that was like, "Fuck these people."
I mean, doesn't that just isn't that just how it always is?
Yeah. But
The
after
people still believe, the government goes, nope.
after two apocalyptic saves for Lenny, he better give them a fucking break.
No, it based off the trailer, Peck is going in on them hard.
I wonder if they'll bring up Ghostbusters 2. I want some mention. I want it known that it I want to know that it happened.
I just, you know what? I hope that there is a scene between, you know, Peck and Pete. We need the reunion of a lifetime.
I really hope that like I want their like next meeting. I want Pete to show up with a fruit basket. He said he was gonna. He better make good on that. Ah, uh, yeah. Those are all my lines. If you got any more you want to shout,
No, that's all I got.
okay. Scene. Uh, my favorite scene in this movie is when Winston, Ray, and Egon go down into the subway to try to get to the river of slime and are just constantly met by weird as shit down there, some of which is actually pretty damn scary.
Oh yeah, like the heads on the spikes, and then like the ghost train. That I like that they just leave Winston in the middle of the fucking tracks to potentially get hit. Thank God it's a ghost train.
The scariest part of that for me is when Winston yells and there's no echo. And then it just screams, "Winston," in this demon voice. Get the fuck out of there immediately. And also, why
Yeah,
wouldn't you bring the proton packs?
yeah. Why would you not come
You're
prepared?
heading towards a source of evil ghosts. You know that's what comes out of this shit. Why would you not go in prepared?
Because they just like to go on half cocked. I did like when they come out of there, absolutely like wired and just barge into Pete's date. No cares in the world.
I love the right after the ghost train, Winston's just like completely frazzled by what just happened. Egon's given history facts, and then they can't find Ray. And Ray decides the best way to announce himself is to loudly go, "Guys!" because they're not on edge enough.
I love how oblivious Ray is like half the time.
He just flings slime at that other couple. It's like, "Oh, sorry."
I was dying laughing when he did that. Like, Jesus Christ, Ray, why would you do this?
Oh, I love randomly when Vigo possesses Ray and no one really reacts to it. They just blast him with the slime, and that worked.
Yeah, they take care of it real quick. They're like, we'll just do that.
Oh, yeah.
I, um, I had actually, I with that one thing that it made me laugh just because I'm like, why is Egon doing this to these people? But when we get introduced to Egon in this movie and he's conducting the fucking emotion experiment and then explains that he's fucking with these people to see if their emotions can like affect the world around them. And I'm like, Egon, what the fuck?
True, but also at some point, like how many hours does it take for a couple to realize they're not seeing a marriage counselor today?
Oh, dude, if someone tells me after like an hour of waiting, he's gonna be no 2 hours. Okay, we're rescheduling. Bye. I have a life.
I always crack up when he says, "Let's see what happens when we take away the puppy."
Yeah. He's so nonchalant. And then like when the guy comes in, he goes, "Oh, that's my assistant telling them they have 2 more hours until the doc wants to see them."
I like when Dana is like talking about Peter, and she's like, "Does he ever ask about me?" And he just straight up goes, "No."
Yeah. I like
He
his
has no.
description. Yeah, I like his description. Oh well, he was on the border, then he was borderline, then he crossed the border.
Yeah, no, that's a good scene. I love the whole courtroom. The whole trial is hysterical because right from the
Oh,
get-go, the judge is like, "I don't believe in any of this shit. And I'm gonna send you to prison."
yeah, yeah. Oh, the whole courtroom scene is fucking fantastic. I love when the ghosts come out and all of a sudden then he's like, "Okay, I need your guys' help."
Yeah, they're like, "Don't talk to me. Talk to my attorney." And yeah, I love Lewis went like Lewis little celebration, like we won the case, like forgetting that
They get attacked by
there's
ghosts.
homicidal ghosts coming out of the woodwork right now.
Yeah.
I love the little bit like after they start blasting and they all have a moment of like and they start laughing at each other like, "Oh, we missed this."
Hmm.
That was
Yeah,
cool.
you feel the gang getting back together.
Yeah, except Winston. What he was there, right? I guess because he wasn't digging. He's not going to prison. But wasn't he in the room?
I don't know. They more likely did it, and then they just probably just what is it the honest trailers thing where they just like cropped him out.
They did do that. That is upsetting.
Yeah. Um. Another thing I liked is when they're like testing the slime reacting to anger, and Ray and Egon start insulting it, and Ray gets a little too carried away. They have to calm him down.
I love that Egon's saying like science insults. Like you're nothing but like an unstable molecule or something like that. Oh,
It still works. It still pisses the slime off.
it's all about intent. You can be saying happy things, but if you say it in an angry way, perceived as anger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try yelling happy things at your dog. See if they pick up on the fact that you're being nice.
Oh no, no, he knows.
Oh, yeah.
I've definitely kind of done that. Sometimes I mistake.
You ever seen that video where like Penn and Teller were trying to prove that, and Penn just screams "Good dog" at this dog, and the dog's like, "Ah!" It's so out of the fucking blue.
I shouldn't laugh. I love dogs to death, but that is fucking funny.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh God.
I love when Peter tries to trick them into thinking the toaster's eating his hand. Like his hand was in the toaster. Like if he'd been and he loudly screamed, so that could have triggered an emotion from the slime, and it could have fucking hurt him. That was
It
smart.
could have, yeah. I like that they watch it like pop. It's like dancing in the thing by with the music.
Yeah. I love the kidnapping sequence. I think that is so unnerving. Um, when Oscar gets kidnapped by Janosch. First off, the baby walks out onto the ledge right there. That's some scary shit.
Yeah, I'm about to say a baby on the ledge in a building that's high up there.
Oh yeah. And somehow Vigo turned Janosch into like a weird child kidnapping ghost who looks like little boy blue. And
Really one Dana's kid.
yeah. And he like does that weird like stretch arm thing and grabs the kids. The whole thing is so weird and kind of like takes a few watches to realize like what the hell was that. Um, but yeah, it's really creepy. The music doesn't help. Like that bit, I think that freaked me out as a kid. I have a memory of being kind of scared by that bit.
This is freaky seeing this playing on that fear that I think any parent has like a kid in a very dangerous situation,
Mhm.
especially a baby. Like,
Yeah, well, you got that coupled with the idea of like the persistent coworker you don't like who clearly has a thing for you, and how far will they go to make that thing happen?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's two very relatable fears, especially for a mother combined.
Yeah, single mom. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Oh God. Yeah, I actually had that one written down too because that was like a really creepy scene. One scene that's a little bit more funny. Always get a good laugh when the guys are pretending to be construction workers and trying to convince the cop to go away. Especially Pete. I gotta give a that is a case where I do applaud the doubling down and how he's like determined to fucking like keep the bit going even when the cops were like, we know you're not fucking construction workers.
So tell me another one. And he's like, I got a major gas leak here. He does immediately start lying for a different reason. I love that he does that.
Yeah, so good.
I read somewhere that like they got stopped by a real cop and talked their way out of whatever it was.
Did they
I don't,
really?
I don't think they filmed it, but like at one point a real cop was like, what are you doing over here?" And they were like, "We're construction. We're trying to work here." And really got out of it.
Yeah. I will say that part of like I do kind of get a laugh at that. It's like the New York way of life right there. Like instead of like being scared of the cop, it's what the hell are you doing over here, man? I'm trying to work. Get the hell out of here.
Well, it's union. It's union. That's
Yeah.
doesn't union
We
isn't afraid of union.
yeah. We're union over here. Fuck off.
Yeah, I do always laugh with Egon's yo. He has no idea how to talk like a regular person.
I like the whole time this is happening, Ray is like slowly getting attacked by the slime. He's like, guys, get me up.
Yeah, I love the bit when the guy from Con Ed is like, "What are you talking about? The phone lines are over there." And he looks at Egon's like, "The phone lines are over there. How many times did I tell you?" And he starts like smacking him.
Just like Pete's commitment to like, we do not break. We do not break.
Oh yeah, it's a fun movie. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to watch. Like I don't see the hate. I really don't.
I don't like I said, we've seen this franchise's low point. It's not Ghostbusters 2.
It is not. But the bar's been set so low. I really don't have any worries about Frozen Empire like at all. I know it's not going
Oh,
to be that bad. It's probably not going to be as good as the first movie, but it's Jurassic Park rules. As long as you accept the first movie's amazing and pretty much perfect and nothing's going to come close to it, you can enjoy everything that comes after without comparing.
yeah. If it's as enjoyable as Afterlife, I think we'll be in good hands.
So do I. And I think it looks fun. I'm psyched.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Let's talk real quick about the final battle against Vigo the Carpathian, who comes out of the painting pretty easily. So I guess he really didn't need a baby.
I know. I was like, you could have just come out of this pain the whole time, couldn't you, there, buddy?
Yeah, you lazy Carpathian fucker.
Yeah. You just want a weird vessel thing going on, I guess, for what, posterity?
You just wanted to be a baby with a grown ass man's head, didn't you? Because that's what was going to happen.
Yeah, which is really creepy and weird.
I love when Yano's just trying to like sell Dana on the idea of raising Vigo as like her son and taking over the world. He's like, doesn't that sound nice? Like, you delusional little man.
Yeah, right. Does that sound nice? No, this was what was somewhat promised her in the first movie, and she denied that as well.
Yeah. She just wants to live her life without Babylonian gods or Sumerian gods. My apologies. Sumerian gods and Carpathian sorcerer ghosts. That's all she wants. It's what we all want, really.
Yeah, I don't think she's asking for a lot. I don't think.
I think a cool sequel idea would be Oscar's grown up, but that transfer was not entirely interrupted. Like some of Vigo got inside of him,
Yeah, yeah.
and like it's in him and it's talking to him and it's trying to emerge, and he has to figure out a way to beat that internal struggle. How cool would that be? That'd be a good way to
I
bring
would,
Vigo back into the fold.
yeah. I mean, depending on what they're doing, I got a feeling they're leaving some things close to the vest with this new one, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, with that, let's talk about what Letterboxd has to say on our final segment. What's in the box?
What's in the fucking box? Give me the gun.
Ghostbusters 2 has a 3.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd. It's not bad. Better than I expected. There's been some turnaround on this.
Well, that's good. That's because a lot of people saw the 2016 one and went, you know what, let's reevaluate Ghostbusters 2.
There was a lot of that. I have 3 reviews here. One's pretty long, but made me laugh. This first one's from Branson Reese. There's no score, but this is what Branson wrote. As far as sequels that are bad go, this is very good. Yeah, I don't. What?
Okay. I, I
Of all the bad movies I've seen, this is good. What?
yeah. Of the various bad films I've sat through, this is a good one. So doesn't that make it a good movie by default?
Out of all the Chinese food I've had, this is pizza. What? It's kind of nuts.
Out
Uh,
of all the countries I've been to America.
Good for you.
Since that's how we're saying things now.
This one's from Noah Ginger Fox.
Of all the
Unpop.
sodas I've drank,
Huh?
tea's been of all the sodas I've drank, tea's been the best.
That's better. Unpopular opinion. The best film in which the good guys win by spraying their positive goo out of their rods all over the bad guys.
Sounds like the porno version as well, but yes.
Yeah. That's where Peter mentioned one of Vigo's names is Vigo the Butch. That's where that came in.
Actually, you know what? I have laid my eyes on a porno version of Ghost, but it's interesting.
I think I know the one you're talking about. If
Yeah,
not, I have seen a different one.
I'm sure there's more than one version.
Yeah. You don't really need to change the title that much either.
You really don't.
Or
I
the
know when I
tagline.
watched like the when I watched like the ghosts were trying to like fuck the humans, so they would like get rid of the ghost, but then the Ghostbusters would fuck the human. So I was like, okay.
That's how it goes. This last one's from Bob McCauley, and this guy just had me laughing the whole time. 3.5-star review.
Oh, okay, okay.
They're back and they're here to figure out what the heck is going on with NYC's evil ooze. Maybe it's the stuff that leaks out of the Chud's air conditioner. I don't know. Dropping us in 5 years later, we're treated to another horror comedy romp that is way lighter in tone and maybe not as successful with those zingers, but is thankfully saved by some fantastically zany set pieces and Peter McNichol's proto Jar Jar Binks performance as Janosch. You see, Janosch is all about two things: trying to get into Sigourney Weaver's pants and Vigo the Carpathian, an ancient evil ruler that is controlling Janosch from an enormous painting. Meanwhile, the Ghostbusters are in a sophomore slump until they discover some decrepit pink ooze that is quite literally nightmare fuel and try to figure out what the heck that is all about. Storylines intertwine, toasters dance, Bill Murray has zero sincere dialogue, and calamity ensues. This is kind of a big step down from that first iconic horror comedy powerhouse, but it adheres just enough to the charms of a proper sequel with those zany WTF moments that make it an entertaining ride. I can't emphasize enough how much of an enjoyable train wreck Peter McNichol is. I have no idea what his accent is trying to be, but he commits so hard that we laughed every time he was on screen. Kind of dumb, but fun. Ooze films ranked: 1, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie; 2, Ghostbusters 2; 3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze.
I mean, Secret of the Use is awesome, but yes.
Ah,
Okay.
that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's very real. You know what? I like that one. I like
Proto, Proto Jar Jar Binks. That was,
Proto. I didn't think about it like that. And I was like, no, he's not wrong.
uh, yeah, that's what's going on in Letterboxd. People like it, but everyone kind of admits, yeah, this isn't as good as Ghostbusters.
I mean, yeah, I don't think that's the most controversial opinion to have on this film at this point.
We can't all be Empire Strikes Back and Terminator 2. It's not going to happen every time where a sequel outshines the first film. That is rare.
Yeah, it doesn't happen all that often.
No. But I still like this movie. It's a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd for me. I love this movie. I enjoy it. I think it's great. The first Ghostbusters is a 5 out of 5. So even to me, who loves both these movies, it is a step down. I will concede that. That's fair.
Yeah. I look, it's still a 3.5 out of 5 for me. But I mean, like I said, I still have a good time with it. Yes, it's a step down, but again, in the realm of like sequels, this is not exactly what I call a bad sequel.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, I've seen some bad sequels.
Yeah. Well, that's our show. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you like what we do, Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Filmgazm Productions. If you want to suggest films for us to watch, you can email us at filmgazm@gmail.com or send us a message through the socials. Check out our Letterboxd accounts for daily reviews. You can search for me at Connor95. In my friends list, you can find the rest of the team. Check out our website, filmgazm.com, where I have a link to my Letterboxd if you want to read my reviews. You can also find articles, trailers of upcoming films in every episode of our show. If you'd like to become a monthly donor to Filmgazm Productions, feel free to click on the link in the episode description. From there, click on Support This Podcast. You can choose to donate $1 a month, $5 a month, or $10 a month, and all donations go right back into the show. We appreciate it. Thanks to the entire Filmgazm team for their contributions to the show. Thanks to Cooley Cow for our awesome theme music, and thanks to you for checking it out. Next week, we tackle one of the most iconic and influential monster movies of all time. When nuclear testing in the Pacific awakens an ancient prehistoric monster, the Japanese people are helpless against its might. It began in 1954, and the latest film, the decades-running franchise, hits theaters next Friday. We are discussing the original Godzilla, and I cannot wait. Never actually seen this, and this felt like the perfect time to break this out.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I've never actually, I think I've watched this all the way through. I've seen bits and clips as a kid when it was on TV. Never all the way through, and it just feels right after the powerhouse that was I think now we can say Oscar winning Godzilla -1. Just feels right.
Yeah. Where did this all come from? What was the film that started it all? Why did it create a franchise that's lasted, what, 60 years?
I think somewhere around there. I mean,
70 years.
Hey, 70 years, as old as Roger Corman's career has been. Look at
Yeah.
that.
70 years this year, 1954 to 2024. So yeah, good
Damn.
timing.
Look at the living legends we got going on. We got Godzilla and Roger Corman.
Yeah. We got an icon responsible for so much monstrous devastation over a 70-year span, and we've got Godzilla.
How are you going to do that?
Until next week, treat each other with basic kindness, unless you're from New York, or the general douchebaggery of society could lead to a river of mood slime, and none of us want that. So take it easy. Keep watching movies. We'll see you next time.